So I was blessed with guys that Wild Red McKim, Red Berry, some of those old masters of the ring that I got that knowledge from. And I was a college boy, so I was like a damn sponge. I would just bleed every night, sit in that dressing room, listen to the stories, and beg them to answer my questions. So that's basically how I got my start. And I come back, came down here to Florida for 6 weeks, kind of filling in. While I was down here, I got a call from Jim Barnett wanting to know if I wanted to go to Australia. I said, sure, I'd never been down there. So I got a deal to go down there. They worked the first angle. Eddie Graham worked the first angle with me ever, and I'll show you how the kayfabe. I'll tell this quick story here about Eddie and so they worked quick angle with me with Dale Lewis. Dale was a national champion from University of Oklahoma, tough son, big old heavyweight guy. He had what he called a Lewis lock, and nobody had ever survived that Lewis lock. So he and Jack were getting ready to have a Florida championship title match. So those old angles that were fantastic. The plane's late, Jack's not here. Jack's not here. His plane is late in the title match. Of course, Dale Lewis goes down. Jack Brisco, you one of those damn Oklahoma State Cowboys. I went to a real school. I went to Oklahoma University. Started knocking my school. Started knocking my brother. And Eddie kind of looked at you're gonna take it. You're gonna run out and take up your brother's pride, and your pride. You're not gonna let this guy knock you like this. I said, okay. So we let Lewis get into a spiel and where he's just disparaged my name, my heritage, and my school and everything else. My brother. Finally, I had all I could say, and I run out and I'd start kicking that damn Dale Lewis's ass. Dale selling like a champ for me because nobody had ever taken the big guy off his feet and all that stuff. And he's flying around for me. Finally, he ends up that Lewis lock. And this is where a great announcer comes in. This is your lesson for today. You can't do a lot of these angles without a great announcer. Who is our announcer? The greatest in the world, Gordon Soda. So Gordon already knows, about my Native American heritage, and he knows, the stuff about me. So Lewis gets me in that, and referees have to give up. Gordon, he's never going to get up. He's a Native American. He never get up. He got that Native fighting spirit in him. He got all this fighting spirit in, and blah, blah, blah. Of course, I never give up. He tears my arm out of my socket. About the time he's getting ready to send me to the hospital, here comes Jack running through with a suitcase in hand, the airplane hand. He comes out and, of course, makes the save of his little brother, beats the hell out of Dale Lewis, and they go on to a big program. I'm walking around in a sling. About a week after that happened, there's these little twin girls that live right down the road. They're college girls that they were wrestling fans, and I met them at a Belch department store or something like that. So I'm romancing them. And I got my arm in a sling. They're feeling all sorry for me. I'm a TV guy, and so. One day, wherever it is hot here in Florida, and Stu Schwartz lives right down the road from where these girls live. Stu was one of our trusted referees here in Florida.
Right.
So the girls wanted their car washed, So I'm sitting there, I'm in my sling, it's a hot day, and they're in their little bikinis out there washing the car. So I'm going to jump in. So I take my sling off, and I'm washing that car. And now kayfabe is strict down here in Florida. About that time, Stu Schwartz drives by. And here I am washing these little twins' car without my arm in a sling. Well, of course, he's on his way to the office. He goes to the office. He runs into Eddie Graham. And I just saw Brisco there, and he's out of kayfabe, man. He got his arm out of the sling and all this. I mean, we had coverage on the local TV. Rep can tell you what kind of coverage Eddie had down there. I mean, it was mainstream. We're the only game in town. There were no pro sports franchises here in town. We're the only game in town. So I get a call that evening. Gerald, I need to see you at the office. And I go to the office. There's Eddie there, there's Jack there, and there's Stu there. Oh shit! What's happening? I know I'm in trouble. Eddie proceeded. He said, "Stu saw you without your sling on. You know the trouble that we go through and what we did for you to help enhance your career, and now you're just throwing it all down the drain. You're throwing your brother's career down the drain. What are you trying to do?" So I was finished up in Florida. Fortunately, I had Australia to go to. But I left Florida with my head down and between my ass there because I thought I was finished here in Florida.
Oh wow!
So that's how Eddie Graham was about kayfabe down here. Man, if you broke it, man, you were in trouble, and you had to pay the piper for it.
big gold and a billfold. So swole that I can't get the shit closed. So I money fold and rubber band wrap